Hello everyone, my name is Juik, and today we're going to be talking about elevation data. I'll quickly run through what it is, what it looks like, where we can get it, and then I'm going to upload it into Felt and see what we can do. You can kind of see some examples on the right side of the screen here. But without further ado, let's go. So when talking about elevation data, we're really talking about the height of certain objects in relation to a specific reference point. Understanding the elevation of a certain land is really important for things like terrain analysis, flood modeling. We call elevation models digital elevation models, aka DEMs, and they can either be surface or terrain. Basically, surface includes buildings and man built structures, while terrain is just the lay of the land. So, when talking about where we can get elevation data, there are a few common sources. For the most part, we want to stick with authoritative figures, USGS, NASA, and of course, when you're downloading geographic tiles, you're going to want to look for shape files, you're going to want to look for GeoJSONs, TopoJSONs, and luckily with Felt, anything that you upload that is valid can be automatically detected. So, what I'm going to do now actually is exit out this presentation. I'm going to go into Google, USGS map downloader, and I'll select the first thing here. Once you click through, you'll be transported to this page. Here you can select the geographic tiles that you want to select. What I'm going to do is just select a simple area, New York. I'll zoom in, and now on the left side here, you can decide the actual information you want to download from the map builder. So usually what happens is whatever is in view is up for grabs in terms of map tiles. So what I'm going to do actually is go straight to the topo map data because we are looking for elevation data. And when you kind of expand that, you can decide what file format you want. So I'm going to just choose a file geodatabase. I do also want to point out this data set I found. It's a CSV of elevation points in New York City. I figured I'd download this data set just so we can see how it works with Felt as well. So now that we have the data files that we want to work with, we're going to go into felt.com and log in. And you're going to come to this home page. It's going to show you all the maps you have working currently, but I'm just going to start with a new map entirely. So once I have selected create new map, I will land on this screen. I believe it centers on your location, but you can always type in the top right for a specific place and Felt will realign you to that location. What we're going to do is click down here on this upload anything button, and this allows Felt to just take whatever data file format you have and just do its best to figure out what's going on. Once a file or a group of files is uploaded, it then will move on to the processing stage, and you can see that progress over here. So our data has loaded both of our data sets, and you can see that they will be posted in this top right-hand corner. Let's start with the geo database to start. If you want to toggle between hidden and unhidden, you can just click on this eye icon. We do want to design it and make it readable. So what we are going to do is hover over the layer and select edit. From there, you can decide the general way you want to categorize the information. If you want to have a color range for certain values, that's probably something we want to do because this is elevation data. From here, you can see that they have a field where you can select what you want to color by. And so I'm just going to probably choose the color contour elevation, excuse me. What's also neat about Felt is you can see the data you're working on as you're designing it. And so if I were to hover over the layer, select on edit, and click on this view data icon at the top, then I can get an understanding of what the data fields might be. It's a pretty good start for the geo database, but let's see what happens when we work on the CSV. So I'm going to hide this layer and select a new one. So because this is a CSV and not a geo database, we are working with discrete points. But the idea of design works in a similar way where if you wanted to change how this looks, you would hover over the layer, select edit, and then decide how you wanted to group your information. If you wanted to do color range, for instance, we can go ahead and do that and change our color by variable to elevation and change our steps to something more like quantiles. So what Felt does pretty well is include this toolbar. You can click on the scissor icon to get the ability to click. So I'm going to click on that now. And then from there, you can just decide what information you want to clip. For instance, right now, these are counties, but if I wanted to zoom out, then eventually it would go to states. That's about all for today's tutorial. There's definitely a lot more to dive into when it comes to felt, when it comes to elevation data, when it comes to GIS in total. But for now, that's all I have. So until next time.